Toolbox.
I love it because it's so portable.
Gotta download the Odyssey app for sure.
From KDAWN. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
Good morning, Las Vegas. What's going on? Welcome to the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. We're going to pep it up a little bit. Now, Brett Baer is a pretty darn good talent, but we got to have a little excitement on a Sunday morning here in Las Vegas, and hope everybody had a happy 4th of July. You didn't do a Chubbs to your hand. And of course, that's a Happy Gilmore joke in case you didn't know. That'll get me in trouble. But, we're going to be talking the best in pro wrestling, and it is going to be a wild, wild weekend coming up as we get ready for 3 WWE cards and AEW All In. This is going to be a fantastic Saturday and Sunday, and we're going to break it all down for you. Plus, all the news fit to print. Man, there's some names that could be moving around, and Kevin Nash got a little crazy on the 4th of July. But Shotzi and Matt Cardona are getting nasty too. But I'm going to bring in our own nasty boy right now. Let's say hi from adfreeshow.com. We welcome in Coach Rosie. Josh Rosie, what's up?
I love the Nasty Boys. Great tag team. They would definitely be in my top 10, but I'm just excited. I was at Dynamite 300. I was at Collision 100. I'll be in Dallas all next week, and then the Waterloo for the Hall of Fame. I'm excited for July full of professional wrestling.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Yeah, how was Dynamite? Looked pretty good.
Oh, man, the house was live. It was probably 80% full. The Toyota Arena is, it's a smaller one, so it's loud in there. And since the Young Bucks were on their home turf, they definitely had all their people out there. And when they had those videos and the montages, the crowd all popped. And then Mystico came out, and everybody, it was a heavy Hispanic crowd, so they started singing his song again. And you got to see some of the roots for some more all-in matches with Nick Wayne getting in that 3-man match, and that's going to lead to the 3-way tag battle at All In. So it was fun. And Sarcast, man, that's like going to Woodstock for a wrestling fan. I'm excited.
Yeah, it should be an unbelievable week out there in Dallas, and certainly an interesting week in Atlanta too. And that's kind of where I want to start here, Coach, is this WWE scheduling all these events on the same weekend as AEW All In. Man, wrestling fans are going to be busy as we kind of take a look at, the tickets sold and where everything is at the moment. AEW All In will have the largest non-WWE crowd in North American history. They are currently sitting at, as of yesterday, about 20,500 tickets sold. Setups 23,000. Of course, the stadium holds over 42, but that's how they've got it set up right now. But a huge, pretty good turnout for AEW All In. So, Coach, how are you feeling about All In at this point? Do you think they're happy with this number?
I would say, yeah, they were
Coach, you're cutting out there a little bit. I apologize.
Getting this a little closer here.
There we go. That's better.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Yep, no problem.
I think I'm going to take Tony Khan at his word when he said he doesn't really care about WWE counter programming them. They had the goal of getting 20,000 in the stadium. I think it's set for 24,000. I think they're at 23 right now, so they'll definitely fill it, and they can expand chairs if they want to. but the fan experience going to an AEW show is completely different from a WWE show. So I think both fan bases are going to be served. Yeah, 42,000 WWE can easily fill that. When it comes to AEW, that's not the case, but their 24,000 sure can sound like 42 in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that is for sure. It's going to be, I think, a very exciting evening. And, we'll talk more about the card later on. But then you head to Atlanta. And, Coach, I'll tell you what, I don't know if this was the best idea for them to go to Atlanta on this weekend. And not saying they haven't sold tickets, but I'll break some of it down in a little bit. But to set the stage, the All-Star game is in Atlanta, and there is a big Beyonce concert going on in Atlanta that weekend as well. And you're trying to do Saturday night's main event, an NXT Great American Bash, and the Evolution pay-per-view for the women. This is a lot going on. And just to give you some numbers right now, I tell you what, Coach, I don't know about this NXT show, and I'm not saying it's a bad show or anything like that, but boy, they have got a lot of tickets left for this. Now it only holds 773 people in there, but they've still got a lot of tickets. And at the moment, let me get the right one here. There we go. They've still got a couple hundred left in there. Coach, the min ticket is $179. Min ticket to go to this. Max ticket $539. That's a lot for an NXT show.
Yeah, that is. But, for guys our age, that's the show I'm most interested in. If I was to be in Atlanta, I'd want to go to that at center stage, get the old WCW Saturday night feel with the Great American Bash and nostalgia there. But 179, yeah, that's crazy. I missed the Gunther Jey Uso match in Phoenix because they were looking for about 150 up in the top, and I wasn't ready to pay that. So WWE is going to be a case study in sports entertainment. If you can charge it, they can come, and we'll see this weekend. Put it to the test. Are they going to have to fill seats in center stage? They're going to get put to the test whether this pricing system that they've set up is something that they want to continue long term. The numbers will be the one to prove that.
Yeah, and if you look on the Ticketmaster right now, most of the tickets are up front and actually in the center too. So, man, that's just a lot to pay for an NXT show. And just so you know, the main event on that card, and golly gee whiz, give me 1 second here. Let me scroll down. It's Obafemi against Yoshiki Inamura for the NXT championship. Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe are taking on Fatal Influence. Sol Rocca and it will be defending the NXT Women's Championship against NXT North American Women's Championship against Izzy Dame. That's your card right now, Coach.
I don't see much American bashing going on there. I see some European bashing. I see some other bashing, but hey, a lot of those people I'm not really familiar with. So paying $179 just for the nostalgia aspect isn't really for me.
Yeah,
but
and
we'll see.
Well, and then they head over to State Farm Arena for the Saturday night's main event. That card right now, of course, it's Gunther taking on Goldberg. It's going to be Goldberg's retirement match. LA Knight's taking on Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre. That is the card at this point. How excited are you for this Saturday night's main event? And Coach, if you're sitting around and you're trying to decide, am I going to spend the money to watch All In, or am I going to watch the Bash and Saturday night's main event? Which way are you going?
Well, for me, it's a no-brainer. I'm AEW. I love their product, and I think it's only been getting better the last couple months. But I don't even think it's going to come down to tribalism. It might come down to finances. One's free, one's not. Might come down to age. Guys choose to see Goldberg, and I just want to clarify something. They haven't said his last match at all. I think something could be building down the line. I haven't heard big hullabaloo about, this being his last match. They haven't sold that, so I'm going to factor that into the finishing somehow. And then AEW fans are just different from WWE fans. They know that they can get a good seat for about $75 to $100. They're going to go to an opportunity where there's a big convention. There's not going to be a convention pasted in there, but for the home audience, you're going to get 4 hours. You're probably going to get Jungle Boy coming back. Probably going to get Darby coming back. You might even get Daniel Bryan making a pop in. So AEW, Tony says, is going to be their biggest, most memorable card ever. Now, I've heard that before, but some of these matches and the culminating storylines are really pulls at the heartstrings of AEW fans, because we've invested a lot of time in some of these stories.
Yeah, it's going to be a fascinating all in, and we'll see what happens at Saturday night's main event. But then we get to Sunday, and the WWE Evolution card is taking place, and this is a pretty good card. I'm not going to down it or anything. I think where a lot of people are disappointed, including apparently WWE performers and so on, is that this just got no buildup. I mean, none, because we're just coming off Clash of Champions last week. And, we got a 2-week build for what is, a historic card, the second Evolution, which the first one was the first all women's card for WWE. And now they're doing it again. And, it's loaded, but man, coach, this is going to be tough. And I think the Beyonce concert is that day too. So they've sold, I think, around 6,000 or 7,000 tickets. It holds around 9, so there's still a lot of seats left. But this is a highly competitive weekend for WWE to go into Atlanta, taking on the All-Star Game and Beyonce at the same time, plus the distraction of AEW All In too. So, how you feel about Evolution being put on this weekend, and should they have waited?
This will be a Instagram pay-per-view for me. I'll just be scrolling and watching the clips, because wrestling fatigue is real. Even if you do go to All In, that's going to be 3 o'clock start time. You're going to have time to see that Goldberg match. They didn't counter program it. AEW adjusted things, so it's going to be a long day of wrestling for fans, and I don't think the true fans are really gonna step up for that. I think it's going to be a big moment for women. I think they will fill it. I think they will get plenty of content out of it. But I don't think they would put it on if they didn't think they would be making money, because this isn't professional wrestling to put smiles on faces. This is corporate professional wrestling, where they can sell ads, where they can sell T-shirts, and where they can make money. So I don't think that they would put it on if they didn't have some kind of proof that the concept would go over.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking pretty fun. They just added that Becky Lynch Bailey Lyra Valkyria Intercontinental Championship match, but we got Jade Cargill against Naomi in No Holds Barred. Tiffany Stratton's defending against Trish Stratus. We got a Women's World Championship match. Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez are defending against Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, plus 2 other teams. Io Sky defending against Rhea Ripley, and JC James defending the NXT Women's Championship against Jordan Grace. So it should be a fun show for Evolution. Definitely, I think it's a must-watch for Sunday. So we'll see how all that turns out. Let's take a break, and when we come back, oh boy, I'll tell you what. All sorts of crazy stuff going on with contracts. And are you excited to see Jelly Roll in WWE? It's going to be Jelly Roll time. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back.
Hey, Chuck, when I apply for a signature loan, how long does it take to get the money?
Right away with our instant funding. Look, if you have an active debit card, we can just drop that money right into your account immediately. This is really handy when you're getting funded online at don'tbebroke.com. And of course, if you're in one of our 60 locations across the country, you can leave with the cash in hand up to $5,000.
So you get your money right away. But how long does the whole process take?
It takes about 30 minutes to process and fund your loan. Bring in your ID and some paperwork, and it's free to apply.
Thanks, Chuck. Dollar Loan Center has over 60 locations, or you can go to don'tbebroke.com and get fully funded from the comfort of your smartphone. New customers enjoy 1 week free interest, and you can get up to $5,000 in minutes.
Licensed by the Financial Institutions Division, subject to approval. Limitations may apply. See website for details.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
They say no two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app with over 16 million subscriptions sold? Well, we thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. She's an artist and absolutely a visual learner. She's doing a deep dive into our Babbel wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Malcolm is very much a type A, say it to my face, listening learner. So he checks with Babbel's speech recognition to make sure that accent?
Precio.
Keith's a real people person and a curious learner. So he loves Babbel's Culture Bites, full of insights and native knowledge about the language he's learning. Like what's served for Christmas dinner in Germany?
Glühwein, Weihnachtsgans und Christmasstollen.
Wherever you are, however you learn, Babbel is the best choice to break any language barrier. Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
1015 FM KDAWN. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
Yeah, let's get back to it. The best in pro wrestling news and entertainment here on the Mark Hoke Show on KDAWN 1015 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. We are also streaming on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. Download that app right now, and it's going to be just sunshine and rainbows for you for the rest of your 4th of July weekend. I promise all sorts of unbelievable content from our station, plus from around the Odyssey family and the world. So make sure you check it out. AUDACY. We are also live streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, and we would love to hear from you. So hop in there, type in your comments. If you have any questions, thoughts, anything going on, we certainly enjoy hearing from all of our listeners out there. So check that out as well. Just go to the Mark Hoke Show on Facebook or YouTube and at Mark Hoke Show on X. Coach, the business side's got some fun stuff going on right now. AJ Styles re-ups 1 year. And I'll tell you what, there was a lot of people hoping, praying that AJ Styles was going to end up on the AEW banner to get some dream matches before it's all over. But they're going to have to wait, Coach. 1 more year for AJ in WWE.
I'm excited because I'm on the other end of that equation. Give me some TNA dream matches.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, AJ, he's on the Mount Rushmore of TNA for sure. So I'm excited whether he gets matches and, to try to get some of the younger guys over or propel some stories on the main roster or go down to TNA and, live out some of the glory days and see what's going on. We maybe get a match next year for him at Slammiversary. Maybe Bound for Glory. He's had so many great matches at different pay-per-views. Maybe give him a run as the TNA champ one more time.
Wow.
So, AJ definitely has plenty of options of where he can go now with the partnership with TNA.
Do you think this is going to last in terms of WWE not swallowing TNA up. TNA's sold a bunch of tickets for Slammiversary coming up here in a couple of weeks. I think they're around like 4,400 if I saw right. So they're doing okay, but is it because of what TNA's been doing, or is it because of WWE, or combination of both?
I think it's mutual. I don't know what the deal is. Obviously, no one does, but it's refreshing. They always talked about the forbidden door, but now we really are getting a true working forbidden door between two companies where it's just now we almost don't even think about it. Where before, when they started this, it was revolutionary. But now we see Joe Henry every week on NXT, and it's kind of fun to be able to intertwine two different promotions because it's something we've always wanted and dreamed about for years, and now we're getting it. Whether they swallow them up or not, that's for the stockbrokers. For me, it's just about the entertainment and the smile, and I like what they're doing. And the Hardys will be WWE champs, whether they're swallowed up by WWE or they take that jump, because nostalgia is what's driving a lot of wrestling nowadays.
Yeah, that is very true. Hardy's saying they want to have one more WWE run, so we'll see how that turns out. But this one is an interesting one, Coach, that Karrion Kross and Scarlett have not re-signed, apparently, with WWE yet. They are up in August. So there's not much time, Coach. We're probably talking about 6 weeks. You don't think they'd do it again to him? You don't think the WWE would drop him again, do you?
I think he's a master of social media. He's very good at creating those clips and images to drive people towards him. I think this push he's getting right now is organic off of a lot of the stuff that he did online. So I definitely don't think they would also give him a big match in Saudi if they were just going to dump him in August. I think this is all leading up to something that is in his deep, dark recesses of his Las Vegas mind. You would know that better than anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I have a really hard time imagining those two not re-signing, especially WrestleMania coming back, because you would think that this time he'll officially be on the card. But we shall see. Stranger things have happened. And speaking of stranger things, there's talk that WWE is interested in Danhausen. And for those who don't know Danhausen, yeah, he's kind of a crazy vampire-y kind of looking dude. Interesting character. Just hasn't done a whole lot in AEW since shortly after he signed over there. But that, Coach, that just seems like a strange combination to me for WWE to sign Danhausen. And I'm not saying that he's not worthy. Don't get me wrong, you Danhausenites out there, but is that a fit?
I think what they see is money at the merch table. I mean, that Mr. Iguana, who would have thought that he would be getting the push that he's getting? He ended up on SmackDown that very next week, and his T-shirts are leading WWE shop. I mean, I think he's good. Maybe not so much in the ring, but he can be a prop manager for somebody. I think he'd be, an R-Truth kind of character where he just pops up and scares people and sells puppets or 8x10s or, whatever, do podcasts. The character-driven stuff in WWE has been seen to be making money. And the bringing back gimmick, so to say, you got like Iguana or a vampire, it's kind of revolving back to the old days because we loved the Bushwhackers and they were mercenaries in New Zealand, but we were just because of the character, wrestling buddies. There's a lot of money to be made.
Yeah, and Bionic Scoop in the chat box might disagree with you a little bit. He says Danhausen can work his tail off, and yes, he can. I'm not questioning the wrestling ability. I'm just wondering how good a fit it's going to be for him. But, if he ends up being that guy, Coach, that just, like you said, just shows up every once in a while, creates a little havoc and makes him some money at the merch table. Yeah, I could see it, I guess, but I guess it really depends on what Danhausen wants to do. in terms of in ring. So we'll see how that goes. Isla Dawn is also apparently getting some interest from AEW as well. She should. I still can't believe WWE let her go, but AEW is apparently interested in signing her. Good fit there, Coach.
Yeah, they need some new faces in the women's department that are gonna push some things, because a lot of the older stars they're either not using or they've moved on. So some fresh faces would be good.
Well, and of course we had all this discussion about Britt Baker last week too, that the good doctor was apparently ready to leave and was trying to get out of her contract, and everybody said no, that's not true. But she's been off TV for a while. I have a feeling we'll probably see her at All In. That's my guess. But and then of course there's a women's gauntlet match going on there too, so I can't imagine she wouldn't be in that. But if she isn't, that's going to be a bad sign for Dr. Britt Baker. And some people have had their complaints about her in the back. So, I'd be intrigued to see how that's going to turn out. Though Dr. Britt Baker being in, and I should say DMD, so she doesn't hurt me, would be I think, an interesting fit in WWE if she gets the shot.
Yeah, everyone that goes over from AEW to WWE or NXT, they strike gold. I mean, except for maybe Ricky, but even he got a title. It's just a golden brick road. AEW now is for people that want to eventually reach that dream of getting to WWE. It can show you that it shows them what you can do, and then with the production value and the camera angles and the lights and the bells and the whistles and the machine that WWE takes you from here to here instantly. It's smart. It would be smart for her.
Yeah, and I just wonder sometimes with the people that come over from AEW, just how hard they really get pushed. And I got to give WWE credit, because I don't know if you saw that Ray Phoenix and Andrade are teaming up, and they had a great match with Fraxium this week. I'm finding that ironic though, that we're getting Andrade and Ray Phoenix as a tag team when, of course, the Lucha Brothers are out there. It's, Penta and, his brother Ray Phoenix. But they're keeping those two separate, Coach. And it looks like maybe we're going to get a tag team run with Phoenix and Andrade. I didn't have that on the card.
No, but Penta's hot right now as a singles. He's getting some big matches in 3-ways and fighting for titles and qualifying for the Money in the Bank, this, that, and the other. People are enjoying that little strut he has, and all attention is really on him, and they can always pivot back. But him and Andrade, it's an interesting combination. But I love Andrade. I think he's a tremendous worker in the ring. He's got every move in the book. He's got swag. He's got riz. He's got aura. So you put him with who's also a great worker in Phoenix, you got a pretty good tag team. I don't think they're gonna get any kind of title opportunity. They might have an opportunity, but they're not going to go over. But they'll definitely put smiles on people's faces with their moves.
It's funny you said that, because, I wonder about Penta getting, when I think of a lot of these guys coming over from AEW, that when I'm looking, I'm saying to myself, are they going to be a world champion at some point? And I just don't know if it's there. Now, a tag title, yeah, I could see that with either the Lucha Brothers or, this new team of Phoenix and Andrade. But boy, I'll tell you, it's going to be so hard to break through that kind of glass ceiling of being an AEW guy and pushing aside the WWE guys to get to the top. Is there anybody there you think it could happen for?
Ethan Page. But I think at the start, they really push him to kind of show, like, hey, you couldn't do crap with them, but now look what we can do with them. And they push him really quick and really hard to try to show the fans that WWE is all powerful. But getting back to Andrade and Phoenix, why can't they become the AAA champs? Why? I mean, they got about 2 or 3 or 4 different WWE super shows that are going through Mexico in the month of July and August, either before or after SummerSlam. I'm not exactly sure. but they're setting up some things in the octopus of WWE. They're not going to go to Evolve or Speed, but those. I mean, you were saying Danhausen. There's so many different tentacles now of WWE that there's always somewhere where somebody can fit.
And I do think it's interesting. We're talking about those luchador guys that they, other than Rey Mysterio, I mean, really, none of them that they've brought in recent years have, I mean, they've won titles, but it's kind of like, okay, you're an attraction for a little bit and then, put you up on Andy's top shelf, if you know what I mean. And I just wonder if maybe that's tide is changing a little bit for the luchadors. With the AAA, with them buying AAA, plus it's pretty good talent. I mean, and Penta has just really shown what he can do. Are we gonna see more of a breakthrough from the luchadors in WWE, or is it gonna be the same old, same old?
I think they've always just needed a platform, and now with WWE, it's a bigger platform. I mean, AEW has been highlighting the luchadors for a couple years now, but the machine of WWE can take me or you and make us the next Paul Bearer. It's just the way things are. And if they put their spin on the luchadors, people are going to like them because their moves are what fans want to see. And WWE doesn't have a lot of those Kenny Omega, Ospreay type athletes, except for these luchadors. So if they want to try to capture that fan base, they're going to need wrestlers that can make those types of moves. And the luchadors are those guys.
Now, one other thing we brought up as we went into the last break, WWE is apparently going to be starting off a storyline with Jelly Roll. That's right, kids. The singer is going to be part of WWE. In what capacity, we do not know yet. But, man, Travis Scott was annoying enough. And really, Jelly Roll? I mean, maybe he'll squash some people. But, Coach, I get it. I get that you're bringing mainstream media eyes to WWE. I understand the concept. But really, do we need this right now with all the bad attention that they got from the whole Travis Scott fiasco and now Jelly Roll? Come on.
Nah, bring on the Gaga. I liked it. I liked when we had celebrity GMs for Monday Night Raw.
Did you?
I liked Liberace coming out for the early WrestleManias. Bring out the stars. I mean, damn, our president's in our Hall of Fame, the WWE Hall of Fame. So, you got to keep bringing out these guys because I don't even care about the eyes on the program. They just always make me laugh, either because they say something stupid, there's some type of botch, or they knock out a wrestler. Who knows what's going to happen, but Jelly Roll has been getting in shape, and I want to see what he can do.
I don't know,
Call me
Coach.
a sucker for a good laugh.
Oh, I don't know. That's just, I guess we'll see. Buying scoop in the chat box saying Travis Scott got messed up due to Dwayne's indiscretion and indecision. I won't disagree on that. I won't. Apparently, I just read a story that they had a ton of merch ready to go for last pay-per-view, and it never happened. So, yeah, interesting. But it's always been a debate with celebrity involvement, and some of it has been good, some of it has been bad. I will grant you that Bob Barker, with his appearance with Chris Jericho, was hilarious. That went well. There's been others, but there's been some other ones too, like Kevin Federline, that I think we'd all like to forget. So
I loved it when Jeff Jarrett hit Beetlejuice with the guitar too. That was a celebrity running.
Yeah, and I guess it depends on the person, but like on WCW. And by the way, thank you again to Eric Bischoff for coming on the show last week. If you haven't checked that out, it is available on our YouTube channel. You have guys like Karl Malone and Dennis Rodman, and you can kind of see that. But then you did the David Arquette thing with Ready to Rumble, and them deciding to give him the world championship may have been the beginning of the end for WCW. I mean, I was nauseated by that. So I'm sorry, Mr. Arquette. And it's not his fault. It wasn't his fault. He didn't sign up for that and to show up and then go, hey, you know what? Let's make him the champ. You know, I guarantee that wasn't his plan. You know, and he spent years fighting that off now, by the way. Years. I mean, he did that death match in GCW just to prove, you know, I can go, I can do this. You know, so but it was horrendous at the time. You're still choking about it. Coach Rosie from Ad Free Show.
I loved it. I was just getting sentimental because Jeff Jarrett's the one that beat him to take the title back. So
yeah, thank God.
Thank you, Double J.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, let's take a break. Give Coach my throat and Coach Rosie's throat a rest. I'm still recovering from 2 weeks of pain, sweat, and tears. So appreciate you digging in with me and hanging in there. Josh Rosenbaum from adfreeshows.com joining me, Mark Hoke, here on the Mark Hoke Show on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the Talk of Las Vegas. And we're going to talk about something Jake Roberts brought up a couple of days ago. What was it? Find out.
If you need to sell your house,
Talk to Aaron Taylor.
You want to sell it fast and get the most cash, talk to Aaron Taylor,
The real estate guy.
Hello, this is Aaron Taylor, the real estate guy. Are you serious about buying or selling real estate? Then you need a team that's just as serious as you. The real estate guy, we deliver what others promise. Clear communication, professional service, and top results that you can count on.
That's right, Dad. Jacob Taylor here, the real estate guy. Whether you're buying your dream home or selling your biggest asset, do not settle for less. Work with the brand that leads with experience, trust, and proven success. With over 8,000 homes sold and 30 years in the business, we know what we're doing.
Go to therealestateguyLV.com or call 702-310-6683. That's 702-310-MOVE.
eXp Realty, license number 3886. Call for details.
talk to Aaron Taylor,
The real estate guy.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Empower. Jen has ordered a decadent seafood tower, king crab legs, lobster tails, and a waterfall of caviar. Pricey? You bet. But Jen worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy and planned for splurges like these. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Ooh, champagne. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. OMG, those shrimps are really jumbo.
Everyone has a fave Wendy's Frosty flavor. And when you're choosing from chocolate or vanilla, it's not that hard. But now there's all new Frosty Swirls and Frosty Fusions. So try picking your fave from Oreo Brownie Fusion, Pop-Tarts Strawberry Fusion, Strawberry Swirl, Brownie Batter Swirl, Caramel Swirl, and Caramel Crunch Fusion. Not so easy now, huh? For a fresh way to Frosty, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary by location. Oreo is a trademark of Mondelez International Group. Pop-Tarts is a trademark of Kellogg North America Co., LLC. Used with permission.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems. Listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-466-9625. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-466-9625.
101.5 FM KDAWN. You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
All right, let's do it again. The best in pro wrestling news and entertainment coming out of Las Vegas. It is the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the Talk of Las Vegas. And want to remind everybody, hey, if you're headed out to Arlington for AEW All In, probably going to need a hotel room. Well, go to the travelshark.com/Hoke Show. You are going to get amazing deals. It's powered by Priceline. And don't waste your time trying to get the employee deals or the mystery deal or whatever it is. Just go to the travelshark.com/Hoke Show and get the best deal you're going to get. I promise. Check it out. Once again, the travelshark.com/Hoke Show. Also want to just make a quick correction on my evolution statistics. It's 6,600 at State Farm Arena per wrestle tickets. They've sold 4,804 at this point. So sorry I put too many people in the State Farm Arena. My apologies. All right, Coach. Of course, ad-free shows. What's going on ad-free shows, by the way? Having a lot of fun over there?
Yeah, just getting all excited for StarCast. We had a great Mornings with Meanie yesterday where we kind of did our eulogies for Sabu because they just had the funeral over at the ECW arena last week. We have been having live Zooms with Eric Bischoff and Jeff Jarrett and all that. So things are lighting up, and we got Top Guy Weekend coming up soon. So check us out.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time there. So head over to adfreeshows.com. Well, Coach, we have this WWE Unreal show coming out soon that WWE is putting out. Kind of a behind the scenes thing where we're going to get into the writing room and all sorts of stuff that maybe we haven't seen before. But Jake the Snake Roberts was not happy about this at all. And of course, old school guy, trying to make sure that some things don't necessarily get out there that maybe they should. But Jake was pretty clear about his comments that he said, oh, well, they've done everything else and made money with it. They might as well do that too. I think it's foolish. I don't think that I don't think that product will ever warrant enough money for the being made for the damage it'll do. So that's just my own thoughts. So Jake doesn't want everybody going too far behind the scenes on this. Do you agree? Do you think that we should be seeing totally how the sausage is made in WWE?
I doubt they'll give us that full of access. They'll edit it up the way they want, but it's people know that wrestling is a work. So do they want to get back there and see things? Yeah, it is kind of cool to see how they book things and the mystery behind it. But does that affect things for the long term? No, because I think that the long term that Jake the Snake is talking about with kayfabe and all that, that's been thrown out the door. And unfortunately, Pandora's box has been opened. And unless, WWE can kind of control the narrative with this show. Otherwise, it's just wrestlers doing shoot interviews and whatnot. So I'm for it. I don't know if I'd like them to come into my locker room and film me, but as a fan, I think it's cool.
I get what Jake's saying on this because, part of what I thought made pro wrestling so good was, at least when we were younger, was the mystery behind it all. And, and kayfabe was important to that. And when Vince spilled the beans when he got in trouble, it took a little bit away. And, we see a lot of guys now having trouble, with the standard heel and face roles. And I'm interested to see it, but I would be much more interested to see it. Like if I, as a media member, got a chance to go in and watch them do their work a little bit. But of course, we know the internet wrestling community can be a little crazy, and this could be some extra ammo for them. I don't know. I'm curious, but what they're talking about right now is that these shows are going to cover. I lost my window, but there we go. These shows are going to be covering episode 1 will be covering the CM Punk Seth Rollins lead up. Then episode 2 is the Men's Royal Rumble. Now that could be intriguing. I would be interested to see putting together a Royal Rumble match. That's got to be crazy to produce that match. Then they'll also be doing Cody and Kevin Owens. Episode 3 is going to be a lot of the women's with Chelsea Green, the Women's Rumble, Women's Elimination Chamber. Episode 4 is going to be John Cena's heel turn. So that'll be intriguing too, to see how that discussion went. So, I mean, there's good and bad. There's part of me, Coach, that I like a little mystery.
Yeah, I can see that both sides, but I like to see how the stuff's being made. So I'll definitely watch it.
Yeah. I mean, we see how movies get made, Yeah. So I suppose we'll just have to suck it up and deal with it. Buying Scoop in the chat box saying constant access of social media will always be the true death of kayfabe in its traditional sense. That's a good point. And for those that are fairly new to wrestling and don't know what kayfabe is, those were the days where good guys acted like good guys, bad guys acted like bad guys, no matter where they went. So if you ran into a bad guy outside of the arena, it's not going to be like you'd see Drew McIntyre now. If you see Drew McIntyre and kayfabe was going on, he would be very mean to you, kind of like MJF is. So that's kayfabe. So you're aware. By the way, I just want to say hi to Matthew Rodriguez, new fan from Spain, checking in and interested in joining the show. We'll say hi, Matt, but thank you for coming on. We listen to the show from
Hola.
Spain. Yeah, hola. sound like Matt or Brad Pitt in Moneyball.
Buenos dias, amigo.
So that was intriguing that Jake Roberts brought that up. We got new tag team champions, Coach, as we saw Judgment Day knocking off the New Day, and boy, people aren't happy about it. Oh, and mostly what I've been hearing and seeing is that New Day title reign where they turn on Big E just got thrown in the dumpster. I see the point. What do you think? Are you happy that Judgment Day, JD McDonough and Finn Balor are now the tag team champs again?
Yeah, I like it. Everyone in that organization has a title. It shows power. Judgment Day as the faction to be when it comes to championships. Maybe they'll get into something with Seth Rollins' group to see who the dominant group is. I don't know. There's a lot of ways that they can go, but one thing that they can't do with having New Day as the champs is generate a lot of stories, because their stories are not quite as interesting as what can happen with Judgment Day as the champs.
And I feel bad that this whole thing with Big E and them really hasn't gone much of anywhere. And I almost wonder if they thought Big E was close to coming back, which is part of why they may have done it. And it just hasn't happened. But it does feel a little bit like there was a letdown there. I mean, Big E could have managed somebody to take him on, or maybe they made a New Day.
Maybe,
but it does feel a little bit like that story, at least for now, just didn't quite go where it should have gone. So we shall see how that turns out. But congrats to the new tag team champions. Yeah. So, Coach, once again, give everybody a rundown about ad-free shows and what do you guys? And you have a ton of stuff going on out in Dallas, right?
Yeah, StarCast is all hands on deck for StarCast. They still have gold and platinum bracelets for sale. We're going to have some more exciting panel discussions, but there's some shows that you're never going to see, like our Texas panel with Dory Funk, with JBL, with just an array of Texas stars that are going to be out there. There's also going to be every AEW star that you can imagine. Some of them are even going to be free autographs. So come on out to StarCast and be part of the experience, because it truly is the Woodstock of professional wrestling.
Yeah, so get ready. All in weekend. Going to be awesome out there, and Coach Rosie will be out there. You can follow him at Real Coach Rosie on X and at Ad Free Shows. Coach, thanks for joining in hour one. Certainly appreciate it.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good one.
You got it. All right. Coach Rosie stopping by and saying hi. When we come back, hour number 2, we've got all sorts of other interesting news took place, and some good, some bad, a little stalking going on. And one of the most intriguing feuds on the indies right now. We're going to talk about that and break down the weekend's action. Make sure you follow us on X at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, YouTube, The Mark Hoke Show. And we're also out there on Instagram, some others too. Stick around. Hour 2 is coming up. We'll be right back.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
Get your team outfitted for the Vegas heat. Off-Grid Creations delivers high-quality custom screen printing with a personal touch. Custom company swag is always a cool idea, and we've got hot deals for the hot weather. Whether it's a few t-shirts for an event, band merch, or family reunion gear, we've got you covered. Need a large order for uniforms, sports teams, or clubs? Our team will guide you from design to final product. Call 661-300-1115 or visit off-gridcreations.com. Get your free consultation today.
Hi, I'm Sherry Harris, owner of LifeSource Water. Vegas water is notoriously hard. It damages pipes, wears down appliances, and is terrible to drink. With the LifeSource Whole House Water System, you get filtered, conditioned water from every tap without salt. From Summerlin to Henderson, we've thrilled your neighbors for over 40 years. Upgrade your water today by calling 1-800-WATER-99 or visit lifesourcewater.com. LifeSource, taste and feel the difference.
Warranty limitations apply.
When challenges arise, strength comes from within our communities. The Nevada Division of Emergency Management's Resilience Team enhances statewide preparedness, response, and recovery by supporting key programs, including access and functional needs, tribal emergency management and tribal health, state voluntary agency liaison, and community emergency response team. These programs collaborate with local governments, tribal nations, and community organizations to ensure inclusive planning, accessible resources, and stronger emergency response capabilities. By working together, we're building a more resilient Nevada that can withstand disruptions and emerge stronger. Find out how we can benefit you, and you can help the state of Nevada thrive. Go to dem.nv.gov, sponsored by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Nevada Division of Emergency Management, in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Of a 2 to 8 year old, listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensate for their testimonials, sponsored by Age of Learning.
Everyone has a fave Wendy's Frosty flavor. And when you're choosing from chocolate or vanilla, it's not that hard. But now there's all new Frosty Swirls and Frosty Fusions. So try picking your fave from Oreo Brownie Fusion, Pop-Tarts Strawberry Fusion, Strawberry Swirl, Brownie Batter Swirl, Caramel Swirl, and Caramel Crunch Fusion. Not so easy now, huh? For a fresh way to Frosty, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary by location. Oreo is a trademark of Mondelez International Group. Pop-Tarts is a trademark of Kellogg North America Co. LLC. Used with permission.
Hey, Brent.
KMXB HD3 Henderson, K260HCS Las Vegas. Always live on the free Odyssey app. 1015 FM KDAWN.
Number of dead in Texas climbs. I'm Jack Callahan, Fox News. Now at least 59 people known dead in the devastating flash flooding. 21 of the victims are children. Fox's Mike Tobin reports from Kirk County, Texas.
There really isn't much reason to be optimistic that they're going to find many survivors, but they are still calling this a search and rescue. As the water has gone down, one of the bridges that goes over the Guadalupe River. From the damage, this bridge isn't entirely wiped out, but you can't trust this bridge anymore. You're not going to be able to transport over the top of this thing. So you're very likely looking at a lot of testing and destruction as it goes through. The sad task of trying to find the 27 girls at Camp Mystic continues. Little reason to be optimistic. That was an all-girls Christian camp. They were there. The water came up simply just too fast.
Hundreds of people have been rescued. The fast-moving waters of the Guadalupe River reportedly rose 26 feet in just 45 minutes when a storm system stalled over the area. Fox's Madeline Rivera in Washington, D.C. with more on White House reaction.
President Trump is expressing sympathy for those affected by the flooding. He says in a post on Truth Social, Melania and I are praying for all the families impacted by this horrible tragedy. Our brave first responders are on site doing what they do best. God bless the families and God bless Texas. Vice President J.D. Vance weighing in as well, saying our nation's heart breaks for the victims in Texas and their families. Just an incomprehensible tragedy. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is on the ground. She's been working with Kirk County leaders and state leaders to make sure they get what they need. She's activated the U.S. Coast Guard and FEMA resources as well.
Secretary Noem also says the administration is committed to updating the technology of the National Weather Service. She calls it ancient and neglected. America is listening to Fox News.
From around the world,
Trey Yingst joining us from Tel Aviv, Israel.
To Washington,
I'm Mike Emanuel.
To your own backyard. If a story impacts you or your wallet, we're on it. It's the Fox News Rundown. We give every story the deeper look it deserves with must-listen interviews and smart analysis from the voices you can trust. Start your day with the Fox News Rundown. Listen and follow now at foxnewsrundown.com or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
Hey, this is Trey Gowdy, host of the Trey Gowdy Podcast. Every Tuesday, you'll hear what's on my mind. Plus, every Thursday, there's a special bonus episode where we answer the questions that are on your mind. Make sure to spend your Tuesdays and Thursdays with Trey. Subscribe now at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you download podcasts. Hope to see you.
America's listening to Fox News.
Afternoons in Vegas are ruled by one radio show. It's the real, raw, and relevant talk found only on The Steve Sanchez Show. 3 to 6 p.m. on KDAWN, 101.5 FM, and on the Odyssey app.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
Yeah, you betcha. Let's get back to it. The best in pro wrestling news and entertainment here on the Mark Hoke Show. Hour 2 coming at you on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the Talk of Las Vegas. We are also streaming on the Odyssey app. If you don't have the Odyssey app, well, you know what? You disappoint me. And you don't want to disappoint me. It's a holiday weekend. So go get the Odyssey app right now, AUDACY. Check out all the great shows on KDAWN, the Odyssey family, and beyond. There's more podcasts on there than you could possibly count. So make sure you check it out, the Odyssey app. We are also live streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook. So if you'd like to join in the fun, say hi. Yeah, give us your thoughts on what we're talking about today or anything that's on your mind. Head on over to the Mark Hoke Show on Facebook or YouTube, and then on X at Mark Hoke Show. And you can give us a like, subscribe, all that kind of fun stuff. We'd certainly appreciate that. All right. So like we said in the last hour, huge weekend coming up in pro wrestling. We've got an NXT card. We've got WWE Evolution. We've got Saturday night's main event. And of course, the big one, the AEW All In, their version of WrestleMania, coming up on Saturday from Globe Life Field. And let's take a little bit of an in-depth look at what's going on at these cards. And we talked about it a little bit. Of course, WWE deciding to head into Atlanta and go head-to-head with AEW All In I don't know if how successful that's going to be in terms of a distraction, because I think we're all going to watch all the shows at some point, but should be an entertaining time to see how things turn out. In Atlanta, we have NXT, the Great American Bash, start time 3 p.m. Eastern, so kicking off the same time as AEW All In. Right now, just 3 matches on the card. And there's some people on this card that I do like a lot. But is this something that's going to make me turn away from All In? I don't know. Obafemi, the NXT champ, and boy, is he a monster. Unbelievable. Taking on Yoshiki Inamura for the NXT title. Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe take on Fatal Influence in a tag team match. And Sol Raka takes on Izzy Damas. I'm sorry, Ruka. Did I say Raka? Jeez. Think of Antonia Raka. Ruka defending her NXT Women's North American Championship. That is the card at the moment. Sure, there will be more added. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm a fan of a bunch of people on this card. Great wrestlers here, but man, is that really worth all the stink? Really? Is that worth all the battling? We're going to put this card against AEW's All-In card, with AEW being red hot. I don't know what they're thinking. Man, do it. Put it on in the morning. Let us watch everything live. I mean, that would have been the best way to do it. But once again, they are kind of struggling with ticket sales on that a little bit. They've still got a little under 200 seats remaining for that in a 770 seat venue. So, yeah. But man, they are charging these prices. Guys, holy cow. They are charging a min of $179 a ticket for this. $179. Up to over $500. Most expensive seat in the house remaining is $539 for the NXT Great American Bash. That is, I'm sorry, but that is a heavy ask. I know it's a very small facility, and you want to make your money. But man, come on. Plus, the All-Star games going on that weekend. So much happening in Atlanta on top of AEW All In. And sorry, guys. It's not going to be tuning into the Great American Bash live. That is for sure, at least on my end. Probably some people disagree, but I cannot justify that. Later that evening, Saturday night's main event takes place. And it is Gunther versus Goldberg. We do have confirmed it's going to be Goldberg's retirement match. So Goldberg will be trying to take the World Heavyweight Championship away from Gunther in his final trip through the ropes. That won't happen. And get ready for a match that's going to be about 8 minutes. And you'll get more time chanting Goldberg than you probably will in the ring. Just throwing it out there. LA Knight, Seth Rollins will be facing off. That should be a great match to watch. Looking forward to seeing if LA Knight could possibly pull an upset off. And Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, of course, they had that great rivalry during the pandemic where they traded the Universal Championship a couple of times. So that should be a fun one, too. And once again, is it the AEW All In? The third presentation of the WWE will be thrown out there, going on the same time as a Beyonce concert at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. A very hastily put together WWE Evolution card. So a celebration of women in professional wrestling. It is an all-female card. Once again, just added Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, Lynch defending. Jade Cargill gets Naomi in a no-holds-barred match. That'll be interesting. Jade Cargill in a no-holds-barred match. We'll see if Naomi can bringing her along for the ride, but that could be intriguing to see. Tiffany Stratton takes on Trish Stratus, and of course Naomi's out there with the Money in the Bank briefcase and trying to hunt her down. So would they? Do you guys think they'd do it? Anybody in the chat box, hit me with that. Do you think that they would pull the trigger and have Trish Stratus knock off Tiffany Stratton, and maybe Naomi cashes in? Do you think they'd have the guts to do that to Tiffany? Oh, I don't know. Battle Royal for the Women's World Championship match at Clash in Paris. So we'll be seeing a lot of the ladies getting a chance to take part in that one. Raquel Rodriguez, Roxanne Perez, and of course Liv Morgan injured, so she is no longer part of the women's tag titles for championship team for at least for now. But it will be a fatal 4-way. They're going to defend right now. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair are in. 2 more teams to go. So that could be a lot of fun. Bliss and Flair working well together. Seem to be doing all right. I don't know if they're going to pull the belts off Rodriguez and Perez from Judgment Day yet, but could be fun. That should be a nice match. Io Sky will defend the Women's World Championship against Rhea Ripley, and this is her first title defense, guys, since she won it at WrestleMania. Her first defense. And who does she get? One of the people she beat to win the championship. Should be a lot of fun. Not saying bad match, but man, that is crazy that she hasn't defended that title yet. And NXT Championship, Women's Championship on the line, as JC Jane will be defending against Jordan Grace. Predict that might be the opener. Good chance that's going to be the opening match. I think it's about time the Juggernaut gets gold around her waist in WWE. We'll see if it's finally Jordan Grace's time as she looks to win the NXT Women's Championship. So that is your WWE Evolution card. So 3 presentations by WWE. They take on AEW. Tony Khan's got about 20,500 tickets sold. They're set up for 23-ish right now. Now, the stadium does hold 40, so we're obviously not going to be selling the stadium out. But Tony got a good shot to get to that 23+ thousand mark. It is the largest non-WWE crowd in North America, as they have surpassed the AEW Grand Slam that took place a couple of years ago. And this card, guys, it is on fire. And AEW has just been absolutely tearing it up. Numbers are going up. Attendance is going up. They've got this thing back on track. And ironically, apparently it was Tony Khan kind of retook the book completely. And here we are. It'll be Timeless Tony Storm against Mercedes Moné for the AEW Women's World Championship. Of course, Moné has been playing belt collector. She's got 6 different belts she'll be wearing to the ring. But, of course, the one that she really wants is the one that Timeless Tony Storm has. Do you think that Mercedes is going to get another championship? I would probably say yes. That is my hunch on this one. Kind of end up being a little bit of short reign for Tony, but certainly an intriguing match. And that rivalry could go on a long time. Could you guys see that one? Is that one a year-long one? I think it's a possibility. I could see them taking it all the way to next year's All In London. Should be a fascinating match, but we'll see if Mercedes Moné, now they're paying her the big bucks, and she is thrilled to death how everything's been going. So we'll see how that goes. And betting odds right now are up on betonline.ag. And by the way, if you do want to bet on pro wrestling or all sorts of other sports, you can check it out, betonline.ag. Go to the Mark Hoke Show. Go to markhokeshow.com. Click on the BetOnline AG banner, and you're going to get yourself a 50% matching bonus up to $1,000. So if you put $1,000 on there, you get $500. It's pretty good. Code BOL1000. But I need you to go through our website at markhokeshow.com. Mercedes is a minus 190 betting favorite at this point. Tony Storm plus 145. So no one's totally sure on this yet, but Mercedes is the betting favorite on this one. Kazuchika Okada, the Continental Champion, takes on Kenny Omega, the International Champion. And they will be unifying those championships into the new inaugural AEW Unified Championship. This is going to be wild, guys. And if you're not familiar with Kenny Omega and Okada and what they've done in the past, I believe this is going to be their 5th match and some of the greatest matches of all time. And it's going to be something else. And especially with 2 championships being rolled into one, brace yourself, because I'm imagining the Rainmaker and the Best Bout Machine are going to be putting on a hell of a show. We have 2 casino gauntlet matches for the men and the women. The winners will get a shot at their respective world championships. The men's, we know for sure we're at least starting off with MJF and Mark Briscoe, and over time increments there will be someone added in, but the match can end any time. It's not like the Royal Rumble where 30 people get in. It could end immediately. I mean, they decide they want to have MJF clock Mark Briscoe, knock him out in 10 seconds, which wouldn't happen, by the way. Briscoe's way too tough for that, but it could. But you could also end up having 9 or 10 people in the match too. So those matches are going to be a lot of fun, and it'll be very intriguing to see who ends up with one of those spots. Can't wait to see that. Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay. Boy, what a dream team you got here. And we taking on the Young Bucks. If Ospreay and Strickland lose the match, they will be unable to individually challenge for the AEW World Championship for 1 year. So their world title hopes go on the shelf if they lose. If the Young Bucks lose, they are no longer executive vice presidents of AEW. I don't know how this one's going to go, guys. I really don't. Very intriguing match. And certainly the wrestling is going to be phenomenal. I mean, this one is right up the Young Bucks alley. Right up their alley. Getting in there with Swerve and Will, who are just 2 guys that can keep it going and going and going and going. Can't wait to see this one. And, a lot on the line for everybody. So we'll see which storyline wins out in that one. Adam Cole will be defending the TNT Championship against Kyle Fletcher. I'm expecting a title change there. I think it's time for Fletcher to get a belt on his waist. But, don't count Adam Cole, baby. But pretty good one there. Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin are in a triple threat tag match for their AEW World Tag Team titles. They meet Jet Speed, the young Kevin Knight, and Speedball Mike Bailey, who has really been impressive since coming into AEW, and the Patriarchy. That's right, kids. Christian Cage and Nick Wayne, who haven't been exactly getting along super well lately, but we'll see if they can pull it together enough to knock off the Hurt Syndicate. I don't think so, but I never underestimate anything happening in a Christian Cage match. Anything can happen with him. So we'll get a World Tag Team title match, and then the one that everybody's waiting for. Hangman Adam Page challenges for the AEW World Championship against Jon Moxley. They'll have to deal with the Death Riders. And by the way, I think they also added a Trios Championship match. So the rest of the Death Riders are going to be taking on the Ops. So the Trios titles will be on the line as well. But this one, a lot of people have been anticipating the end of Jon Moxley's reign. Whether you like the Death Riders or you hated it, this is going to be an absolute war. Will the AEW World Championship finally come out of that briefcase that Moxley stuck it away in all those months ago? And does Hangman Adam Page get to be the hero at AEW All In? I would lean yes. But boy, could you imagine, guys? Oh, people would lose their minds. Lose their minds if Moxley holds on to the title in this match. Hangman Adam Page is a minus 900 betting favorite in this one. Moxley a plus 500. So you have to win. So if, just so you know how that works, you would have to bet $900 to win 100 if you bet on Page. Now Moxley wins, you bet 100, you get 500. But oh man, they've done such a great job building towards this, and we'll see if Hangman Adam Page gets to walk out once again the AEW World Champion. I would say it's generally a sure thing, not 100%, but I think you'd be safe if that was your pick. So that's AEW All In. So taking a look at those cards, guys, it's it should be a very entertaining wrestling weekend. And I hope everybody is going to have the time to dig in and enjoy it all. Unfortunately, with WWE's decision to schedule going against them, of course, AEW All In is starting in the afternoon because they wanted to stay away from Saturday night's main event. But then WWE decided to stick the Great American Bash in there with NXT. And I hate to say it, but good luck. You'll get viewership because either if it's just a straight WWE fan, somebody who doesn't want to pay for All In, you'll get some viewership on that. But if you are picking which one is going to be the better watch, I'm sorry. Sorry, Oba. Sorry, Jordan. I love you two to death, but I'm watching All In. Should be a great night. And of course, AEW All In, the biggest non-WWE card in North America. So, and I'm sure there's going to be more tickets getting sold. Like I said, they were around 20,500-ish. They have a setup right now at 23. I think they get there. I think they do. Should be a fairly well packed, at least in the bottom two bowls of the stadium. McGlow Life Field. It's going to be rocking. So brace yourselves, everybody, for AEW All In. All right, let's step back, take a break. Before we do, just want to remind everybody, hey, if you want to maybe get your group some cool T-shirts to wear to AEW All In, or you want to say I'm an NXT guy, well, you can call my good friend Mike Franco at offgridcreations.com or off-gridcreations.com, excuse me. And yeah, whatever you need, anything for your marketing. Now, you want to get your logo printed on a stress ball or whatever you can think of, he can do it. He'll do a free brand consultation for you. And all you got to do is either head over to off-gridcreations.com or give him a call. He's standing by waiting right now, I'm sure. Give him a buzz at 661-300-1115. That's 661-300-1115. And that's all over the country, kids. 661-300-1115. That is Off Grid Creations. All right, let's step back, take a break. There's more going on, and some of it has been good, some of it not so much. Liv Morgan had an issue with the stalker. We didn't get a chance to get into it last week. And one of the most intriguing feuds on the indies you're ever going to see, I think. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM. Talk Las Vegas.
All the news, sports, music, and podcasts that you want are all on the free Odyssey app. Download it today.
Silver State Schools Credit Union is a nonprofit, member-owned financial institution named Best Credit Union for 7 straight years. Any Nevada resident can become a member and have a financial partner for life. Learn more at one of our 10 local branches or silverstatecu.com.
If you're injured in an accident, here are the things that matter. Who you hire to represent you matters.
Where they live may seem like it doesn't matter. It matters.
The Richard Harris Law Firm employs over 150 local people.
Trabajamos aquí. We live right here. We know Nevada. We know the courts. And we know how to win.
If you're injured in an accident, who you hire to represent you matters. The Richard Harris Law Firm, 444-4444.
To get all rules and information for contests on KDAWN, visit our website at kdwn.com/contest-rules.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind.
Want a matching bonus up to $500 and have fun betting on pro wrestling plus all your favorite sports and entertainment events? Then you need to check out betonline.ag. Bet on all the top wrestling events, plus you can get a free 50% matching bonus up to $1,000 on your initial deposit. Just go to markhokeshow.com, click on the betonline.ag link, and use sign-up code BOL1000 to get in on the action today and receive your 50% matching bonus. So get in on all the betting excitement. Sign up right now on markhokeshow.com with betonline.ag.
Scott's Naturescapes 1.5 cubic foot mulch bags for just $10. These deals are coming in hot. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/9. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
What do you call charging thousands of dollars for hearing aids? At MD Hearing, we call it outrageous, because hearing should not be a privilege for the rich. It's a basic need everyone deserves. Hi, I'm Dr. Sandra Porps, head of audiology at MD Hearing. If you or a loved one have trouble hearing but don't want to waste thousands for a hearing aid, MD Hearing was created for you by doctors and audiologists. A high-quality, FDA-registered hearing aid for a fraction of the price. No costly doctor visits, no expensive and time-consuming fittings, no bulky, old-fashioned hearing aids that cost thousands. The MD Hearing Neo is just $297 per pair. It's rechargeable and fits discreetly in your ear. Even better, it lets you hear what you've been missing at a savings of more than 90% off the average price of a traditional hearing aid.
Try MD Hearing risk-free for 45 days by calling 800-918-3920. Plus, you'll get free shipping. Call now, 800-918-3920. That's 800-918-3920.
1015 FM KDAWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
Hey, let's talk a little more pro wrestling, shall we? Here on KDAWN 1015 FM, talking Las Vegas. Very excited to have you with us today. Hope you had a fantastic 4th of July and enjoying your weekend. And all appendages are still attached to your body. I tell you what, the Metro and the Nevada Highway Patrol were sure making sure that you weren't getting into Vegas with too many illegal fireworks. They did a unbelievable, massive work stopping people from coming back into the city with illegal fireworks, for better or worse, but probably for better, knowing our fine city. Speaking of legal actions, when we didn't get to this last week because we had ended up spending that whole hour with Eric Bischoff, which was pretty awesome, and the interview is posted on our YouTube channel at The Mark Hoke Show if you want to check it out. But Liv Morgan, of course, she is on the shelf right now because of that dislocated shoulder. Man, someone went to her house. They were tracking her down and going to the performance center and everything. So a 41-year-old Canadian, Sean Chan, from Scarborough, Ontario, get this, told customs officials he was staying at the performance center, which I'm surprised that nobody asked any questions, but obviously not a wrestling fan, because whoever's doing security, if somebody would have said that to him, would have said, you can't stay at the performance center. What are you talking about? But he figured out where Liv lived, and on May 31st, he went to Liv's house and tried to get in. And get this, after failing to get in the front door, a suspect picked up an air rifle that had apparently been left on Morgan's porch and waited 2 hours for the performer to return home. When she did not, he became discouraged and left several notes before leaving. Notes allegedly referred to being wronged by members of an online gaming community and saying that his visit was friendly, and left his address and phone number for Liv to give him a call. Apparently, a few days later, he showed up at the Performance Center to try to find Morgan, but the security team recognized him from the camera footage taken at Liv's place. And see you later. But wow. And he's going to be appearing in federal court on July 18th. So, boy, WWE, they are having some issues. And it's not their fault, don't get me wrong. But, of course, we had that big issue with Sonya Deville. And then Rhea Ripley just, as soon as this story broke, said, yeah, somebody came to my place, too. First off, you crazy screwball idiots, cut it out. Leave them alone. But what does WWE have to do at this point? And I'm sure AEW's got to deal with some issues as well. But is WWE going to have to start providing some of its women security details? That's scary. That is really scary. Let's say the one that went to Rhea's place was apparently hanging out there for hours too. Ugh. But we're glad that's all settled for Liv. And of course, we want to wish her all the best in her recovery. But a pretty wild story coming out of there down in Orlando. We also have a big feud going on in the indie circuit. And I'll tell you what, if you'd have told me, say, 2 years ago that these two would be going at it, I'd have told you, what are you talking about? I mean, one was in WWE, for God's sake. And it's not a male and a male or a female and a female. We got a dude and a babe battling it out on the indies. Of course, Matt Cardona, the former Zack Ryder, has been known as the Indie God. He pretty much took that moniker through a lot of hard work. And he has been out there working the indies for quite a while, doing an unbelievable job and really mentoring a lot of wrestlers out there too. Well, Shotzi Blackheart, who was just recently released by WWE, has asserted that she is the Indie God. Well, you can imagine Mr. Cardona hasn't taken too kindly to that, especially she's only been out in the indies for a matter of weeks. They started trash talking each other on social media, and then eventually Matt got around to saying hi to Shotzi by driving Shotzi's tank over her arm and breaking it. That's right. The tank was used to break the arm of Shotzi Blackheart. Well, Shotzi was up at Maple Leaf Pro this weekend, taking on Giselle Shaw for the Maple Leaf Pro Women's Championship. And guess who showed up? Matt Cardona takes her out. And Giselle Shaw wins the match and retains her Maple Leaf Pro title. But boy, oh boy, I don't know where this one is going to end up. But Shotzi is wanted to do death matches and all sorts of crazy stuff. And, we do see more intergender matches on the indie circuits, maybe more than I would like to see. But this one's got me intrigued. I'm sorry, and you can call me a sick SOB if you want, but I'm okay with this one because those two are nuts. They're nuts. They will do anything in a ring, and I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know, but the funny part is that they could fight anywhere, any card, anytime. So brace yourselves, everybody, because we've got Shotzi and Matt Cardona trying to kill themselves out on the indie circuit. Woo-hoo. One thing you probably won't see him, though, is a TNA Slammiversary. That card is only 2 weeks away. That'll be July 20th. So that'll be 2 Sundays from now. And TNA Slammiversary. Boy, is this one shaping up to be a good one. TNA's got thousands of tickets sold for this one. And that is at that new UBS Arena up in Elmont, New York. Pretty nice place. AEW and WWE have both been there. But get ready for this card, because I tell you what, this could be one to remember. The Elegance brand, Ash by Elegance and Heather by Elegance, with M by Elegance and the personal concierge, yeah, say that 5 times fast, will be taking on the Inspiration, Cassie Lee, Jessica McKay, who just recently got back into TNA, and they're going to be challenging for the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team titles. Mustafa Ali gets Cedric Alexander. Woo! Of course, Cedric Alexander, a lot of people thought he's going to end up in AEW, but he chooses TNA instead, and now those two should have one hell of a match. Tessa Blanchard gets Indy Hartwell. So Indy's showing up in TNA, and she's going to take on Tessa. We've got the Nemeths, Nick and Ryan, will be defending the TNA World Tag Team Championship in a 4-way tag team ladder match with the Hardys, the Rascals, and First Class. That's AJ Francis and Casey Navarro. Oh, dear Lord. Of course, the Hardys, the masters of the ladder match. The Nemeths can go. The Rascals are amazing. And First Class with AJ and KC, they have really been stepping up their game too. I mean, AJ Francis, to me, may be the most improved pro wrestler over the last year and a half. I mean, that botch in WWE a couple of years ago, long forgotten at this point. And I really think AJ may have the best choke slam in pro wrestling right now. That should be an amazing match. And man, can we get AJ to do it? One of those choke slams off the top of a ladder? Woo! I wouldn't want to be in the end of that one. Yikes. But that should be a terrific match there. Moose takes on Leon Slater as he will defend his TNA X Division Championship. Leon, most recently, if you haven't seen the clip, when they were in an X Division Championship match recently, jumped off the X Division rafter. Of course, that is the X Division title is suspended above a ring with a giant X-shaped truss. And Leon jumped off that. So a good 15, 20 feet drop for Leon Slater onto everybody who didn't really want to catch him. And it sucked. But Moose gets Leon Slater for the TNA X Division Championship. Masha Slamovich in a historic match. It's going to be a title versus title match, as she will defend her Knockouts World Championship against either JC Jane or Jordan Grace. Oh, of course, those two are meeting at the Great American Bash. And should be fun to see if we get Masha and Jordan with both the TNA and the NXT titles on the line. Oh, man. Get ready for that one. Not discounting JC Jane at all, but I think I'd enjoy that one. And then we get a triple threat for the TNA World Championship. It is Trick Williams, of course, the NXT Invader, takes on former champ Joe Hendry and Mike Santana. And Santana has just been on an absolute roll since he joined TNA. And, of course, you got Joe Hendry there, too, taking on Trick. Man, Slammiversary shaping up to be a huge, huge event. So get ready for that one 2 Sundays from now, coming at you from New York. So, man, TNA just continues to produce, and that card's not going to disappoint, that's for sure. All right, let's take a break. And when we come back, Kevin Nash didn't have a good 4th of July, apparently. Oh, man. He was not happy. We've got a new recruit for the Street Fighter movie. Who else got a role in there? We'll talk about that, too. Stick around, everybody. More to come on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the Talk of Las Vegas. We'll be right back.
If you need to sell your house,
talk to Aaron Taylor.
You want to sell it fast and get the most cash, talk to Aaron Taylor,
the real estate guy. Hello, this is Aaron Taylor, the real estate guy. Are you serious about buying or selling real estate? Then you need a team that's just as serious as you. The real estate guy, we deliver what others promise. Clear communication, professional service, and top results that you can count on.
That's right, Dad. Jacob Taylor here, the real estate guy. Whether you're buying your dream home or selling your biggest asset, do not settle for less. Work with the brand that leads with experience, trust, and proven success. With over 8,000 homes sold and 30 years in the business, we know what we're doing.
Go to therealestateguyLV.com or call 702-310-6683. That's 702-310-MOVE.
eXp Realty, license number 3886. Call for details.
talk to Aaron Taylor,
the real estate guy.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Empower.
Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads. Race car bobbleheads. Little chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Everyone has a fave Wendy's Frosty flavor. And when you're choosing from chocolate or vanilla, it's not that hard. But now there's all new Frosty Swirls and Frosty Fusions. So try picking your fave from Oreo Brownie Fusion, Pop-Tarts Strawberry Fusion, Strawberry Swirl, Brownie Batter Swirl, Caramel Swirl, and Caramel Crunch Fusion. Not so easy now, huh? For a fresh way to Frosty, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's. Hours may vary by location. Oreo is a trademark of Mondelez International Group. Pop-Tarts is a trademark of Kellogg North America Co. LLC. Used with permission.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? A man age 50 non-tobacco user can obtain $500,000 of coverage for as little as $110 per month. Level rate for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rate for 20 years. If you're a smoker, there are great rates available for you as well. Call Term Busters for a quote. 1-800-908-7636. You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-908-7636. Remember, call Term Busters. 1-800-908-7636. Sample rate for preferred non-tobacco rate class. Exam required to qualify.
1015 FM KDAWN. You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
And we return for the final segment of the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 1015 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. Very happy to have you with us. Of course, those of you also out there on the Odyssey app, thanks for tuning in there. And as well on our live stream at YouTube, X, and Facebook. Don't forget, if you want to throw a comment in there real quick before we wrap the show up, would certainly enjoy that. So feel free to interact with the show whenever you like. Kevin Nash, of course, one of the founding fathers of the New World Order. Kevin wasn't happy this weekend. Just the big, beautiful bill passed. But Kevin, not so pleased about it. And before I say anything, I want to thank Kevin Nash for his service. He was in the military. In a tweet said, I didn't celebrate the 4th this year because I personally feel we're not a home of the free. We lose constitutional rights daily. If you're a bigot, please unfollow me. Peace out. And of course, that blew the internet up. Either way, for Mr. Nash, big sexy, had another follow-up tweet. There were a few, but was enjoyable to flush the white trash out today to block them and remove them, at least on this site. I didn't celebrate the 4th this year because I personally feel we're not the home of the free. Also said happy 4 more trillion in debt day. So Kevin Nash was not happy with the big, beautiful bill. But a lot of people came at him, and a lot of people agreed with him too, and that's certainly their right. Kevin, he's done his time, and he is certainly allowed to say what he wants as a really, really good podcast. I don't agree with everything Kevin says, but certainly he's welcome to fire away. But Kev, come on, man, enjoy the holiday, will you? Well, it's 4th of July. We're all Americans. Dude, relax. You want to blast it? Blast them on the 5th. But I guess he got the attention he wanted. So Kevin Nash not happy about the BBB. Other news that came up this week. Hey, Scorpio Sky's back. Of course, that was kind of a topic of discussion at one of the press scrums recently. Where's Scorpio Sky? Well, Scorpio Sky made his return on Collision on that show on Saturday night. So welcome Scorpio Sky back into the fold. And I bet he's going to get a push. Be ready. Of course, former tag champ, TNT champ, he'll be back in the mix. We also have, by the way, didn't get to mention this last week, but Zack Sabre Jr. won back the IWGP World Championship. So he takes home the IWGP title last week as he beats Hiroki Goto to claim another run here as the IWGP champion. So good for him. Congratulations, Zack Sabre Jr. Debatably the best wrestler in the world. He's in that mix. And if you haven't seen Zack Sabre Jr. perform, well, you are missing out. I got to see one of the best matches I have ever seen live when he took on Bryan Danielson up in Seattle. It was unbelievable. But we do have a new IWGP champion. And while we're talking about Japan, the G1 Climax tournament, and this is a really cool tournament if you've never followed it. Basically, it's a pool play. You have two groups. Top two each advance to try to become the Climax champion, G1 Climax champion. And here are your groups. So it's 2 10-man blocks. Round robin starts on July 19th. Winners of each, and I apologize, winners of each block advance to the semis. Second, third face each other in playoff matches to determine the other remaining final four. Finals are on August 17th. Your A block is Goto, Bolton Oleg, Yuya Uemura, Yota Tsuji, David Finlay, Evil, Sonata, Tanahashi, Callum Newman, and Ryohei Oiwa. Excuse me. B block, Zack Sabre Jr., El Phantasmo, Shoto Imuno, Takagi, Great Okan, Gabe Kidd, Ren Narita. Takeshita is in this. That's going to be great. Drilla Maloney and Yoshihashi will be on the other side. Keep track of this. And they do, and people on, especially on Wikipedia, do a great job posting this. So check it out. They usually set up pretty nice grids. But this is really the premier round robin tournament in pro wrestling. So watch out for that as mid-July through mid-August roll on. But it's a lot of fun. So get ready for the 35th edition of the G1 Climax tournament. That's going to be awesome. We also we got somebody new in Street Fighter, guys. Roman Reigns had already gotten a role. Well, guess who else is in? Hey, we're going to have a rematch of WrestleMania 41 because Cody Rhodes will be playing Guile, the flat-topped camouflage-wearing Street Fighter. So Cody Rhodes joins in along with Roman Reigns. So both of them in the upcoming Street Fighter flick. Still no release date on that yet. Probably going to be a few years out, but congratulations to Cody Rhodes as he joins Roman Reigns in that tournament. John Cena has announced his final match, The Sight, where he's going to wrap it all up. And not too much of a surprise in here that John is going to finish at Boston's TD Garden. They have not confirmed the date yet, but it will be in mid-December, so it's not going to be right at New Year's Eve or anything like that. But John Cena will be wrapping his career up somewhere in the middle of December, once again at Boston's TD Garden. I'm sure he'll be a good guy by that point. You never know. Will he still be the champ? Or SummerSlam coming up and Cody Rhodes is going to be taking him on? Will Cody turn? Could you imagine a double turn in that match? Oh man, I'd enjoy that. As Cody's saying, I'm about done as a babyface. Probably wrapped up next year or two, but wouldn't it even be more fun if it wrapped up at SummerSlam? All of a sudden, just destroyed John Cena. I don't know, but Cena saying about this, my last match will be in mid-December. I said 36 dates in January. We're halfway through. And gosh, it's been a lot of compelling TV. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but I think we're just getting started. I think so too, John. So should be a pretty emotional night in Boston when John Cena says goodbye. So brace yourselves for that one, everybody. And once again, just bracing ourselves. Well, let's just brace everything. Get ready for AEW All In on Saturday. Main event, Jon Moxley against Hangman Adam Page. And I'm telling you guys, if you're going to get an AEW pay-per-view, this one's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth every dime. Get your friends together. And if you haven't really been watching AEW that much, I think you're going to be in for a treat. All In just turns out to be one of the best cards of the year every year. And this one, I mean, there's not a bad matchup on the board. I think the only one, and I'm sure the tag match is still going to be pretty good. With the Hurt Syndicate taking on Jet Speed and Patriarchy, a little bit thrown together late. But I have a feeling, they'll put on a show too. I mean, Speedball Mike Bailey has been amazing. If you haven't seen Kevin Knight, he has been just taking AEW by storm. And then you got Christian Cage and Nick Wayne hanging out there too, taking on Lashley and Benjamin. Looking forward to that one. Adam Cole gets Kyle Fletcher for the AEW TNT title. Cole will try and defend, but Fletcher has just been performing at such a high level. If you didn't get to see the cage match that he had with Will Ospreay down in LA a few months ago, man, Fletcher is something to behold. So get ready for that one. Swerve and Will Ospreay taking on the Young Bucks with all their stipulations, a couple casino gauntlet matches, and Okada and Omega. American fans really haven't gotten to see this one yet. Well, now you're gonna, and it should be a masterpiece. As Kenny, getting over that diverticulitis, has said in an interview this week that he's running out of time, but he wants to do everything he can and make it look good. So I would imagine Okada Omega should be a classic, as will Timeless Tony Storm and Mercedes Moné. And then Mox and Hangman Texas Death for the AEW World Championship. It has been a long time coming, and a lot of people were surprised that the Owen Hart Foundation tournament winner was Page over Ospreay. And apparently Tony hadn't made up his mind for quite a while until pretty close to the day of that match. But it will be Hangman Adam Page taking on Mox, as Page will try to regain the AEW World Championship. So get ready for that. And speaking of getting ready, it's getting ready for me to get out of here. But very excited to have all of you along for the ride here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the Talk for Las Vegas. If you have a second, we would certainly appreciate it if you could give us a follow on X at Mark Hoke Show. You can also give us a like on and follow on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and subscribe on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show. And you can see all our great video content. Every show that we live stream, plus audio, is up there as well. So make sure you check that out. Just had a great time with Eric Bischoff last week. Of course, the man behind WCW and so much more. Terrific interview where we just talked a lot about the business, and I'm sure if you take a minute, you will enjoy that too. So that is going to do it for me, and I want to thank, of course, Coach Rosie for being in on the show. and be interesting. I haven't quite decided how I'm handling it all in yet. I might be hopping off a plane, or I might just be coming in and getting hyped up for what happened on Saturday, plus all the other great WWE cards with NXT Great American Bash and Saturday night's main event taking place on Saturday as well, and we'll get you ready for Evolution too. I'm Mark Hoke. Thanks for being with us here on 101.5 FM KDAWN. Guys, we'll see you next week. Enjoy an unbelievable weekend of pro wrestling, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day, Las Vegas.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show, and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.